Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Max Warframe. Today we're going to continue smashing enemies in the face with a solid object and take a look at the Sancti Magistar. Way back when the heavy weapons got their buff to bring them up to par with the other melee weapons, the original Magistar was kind of left in the dust quite a bit. In fact, to be honest, it was crap. So what does the Sancti version do to try and correct this? Well, the weapon can be picked up for Noob Loca and be purchased at their max rank by spending 125,000 standing. As we got the Syndicate melee, you require Mastery 8 to be able to pick it up. As a result of it being turned into a Syndicate weapon, it got a sizable buff to go with it. 40 base damage increase all the way up to 120, with the majority 96 coming in the form of impact, 18 as puncture, and only 6 as slash. Puts it just behind the king of impact melees, the Fragile Prime in base damage. The supplemental stats it gets, they're pretty decent as well. 20% critical chance, 200% multiplier, puts it firmly in the realm of a blood rush and body count build being viable. And a 10% status chance means that while I would say it's not worth modding specifically for, you are going to proc fairly often, since its faster attack speed of 1 attack per second means you're going to be hitting pretty quickly when Berserker's fully procced. Combine that with its innate 10% chance to proc blast, no matter what elementals you have equipped, you also have some decent built-in crowd control. Honestly, in fact, I can't really think of anything bad to say about it. The Syndicate passive it gets replaces the Purity AoE blast, and it's really something a bit different and pretty cool. And that is that on charge attacks, the Sancti Magistar will send out a healing pulse restoring 200 health points to yourself, what appears to be 25% of the weapon's damage to your allies within a 15 meter range. The pulse can be modded for as well, with ranged mods like Prime Breach increasing the range up to something like 40 meters, which is insane. But not only does it heal allies, it can also heal cryopods, hijack power cores, excavators, or even the shadows that Necros raises with Shadows of the Dead. Makes it an amazing weapon for healing them up, giving great synergy. This passive really turns the Sancti Magistar into the ultimate team-based melee weapon, able to dish out some serious damage, along with some serious healing in an emergency, or save your objective from going down entirely. Combine that with the second passive of resisting the damage dealt by status procs while it's held by 75%, you have a weapon that can increase survivability a ton, especially against things like high level Mutalis Ospreys and their insane Toxin Cloud. It's a really cool and interesting mechanic to put on a weapon, and one that I really like. In terms of builds though, and how I decided to build it, I have two very slightly different builds. In fact, it's only actually one mod that changes. The stance is one that matches the polarity, Shattering Storm. The combo Pounding Strike is what I love most about it. Decent forward momentum, plus a whole bunch of damage multipliers on each attack, ending in a ground slam. It's got it all, raw damage and crowd control in one combo. Add on to that the Prime Pressure Point, Blood Rush, Body Count, Organ Shatter, two 90% elemental mods. The final mod is going to depend on what you're doing, really. If you're in a solo survival or something like that where you don't have teammates, or if you don't have an objective, I would go with more damage, Prime Heavy Trauma, or another elemental if you don't have that. This would give a decent buff to the damage output of the weapon, and since you have a heal on demand with the charge attack, I decided to not go with Life Strike. If you're in a team or have other targets to defend, or spectres like you do on Necros, I would go for Prime Reach instead. Full max range on that heal. It's a huge boost to your team and can make a huge difference between them dying or the objective exploding. Both builds I like a lot, and it's going to be down to your playstyle, whether and what you're doing, which that final mod is going to be for you. So do I actually like the Sancti Magistar and think it's worth buying, maxing out? The answer to that is hell yes, I do. Like some of the other Syndicate weapons, I've been loving the interesting mechanics that these weapons have got. And the Sancti Magistar is no exception. I'm going to say this now, I don't like charge attacks in Warframe for the most part. I find them too slow, too cumbersome to use regularly. Half the time you try and do a charge attack, and Ember's World on Fire has just killed the target, or Ash Blaze-storms it, someone blows it up with a massive AoE from a Toncore. For the most part, the actual gain you get from doing a standard charge attack just isn't worth the effort of trying to do the charge attack. The Sancti Magistar though actually rewards it. The free heal to not only yourself but your entire team and your objectives as well is incredible, and definitely something I am happy to see. Let's face it, as I said earlier, the original Magistar was utter crap. It was so terrible, I forgot it existed until it was mentioned there was Syndicate 1 coming, And the Sancti has really given the Magistar a new lease of life. It's such a cool looking weapon to be sat in the realms of mastery fodder. But that's what these Syndicate weapons are supposed to do. Take mediocre weapons, crap weapons, give them a boost, make them good again. It's got great damage, blood rush body count capable, 2 fantastic passive abilities. The Sancti Magistar really is one of the top Syndicate melees for sure, and one that really surprised me, because it's actually made me like using charge attacks with it, although the rest of the melee weapons still have to convince me on that. So we've got one more Syndicate melee to go, and that is the Synoid Heliocore. I've done it last because I've needed to do a ton more testing with it than normal, on account of me not knowing the first thing about channeling weapons at all. So I've had to work from the ground up with everything. I would love to hear what your favourite Syndicate melee weapon is so far in the comments below. However, as always, many thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.